Good evening, everyone. My name is Israel Roman.
What's the difference, I suppose? We'll wait and see. I hear something close.
For those people
I
watching
hear
us in
something
Zoom
near.
webinar,
I hear
good
something
evening,
warm.
everyone. And for those
It's
watching
not
us
my
in our
own.
Facebook Live page,
I hear
good evening
something
as well to you guys.
close. I hear something near. I hear something warm. It's not my own.
While waiting for a few more attendees, for those people who are in our Facebook Live page, if you can like and share this free live stream to your friends, families, to groups,
Where
that
are the
would be very much
heavens up to
appreciated.
say? I don't see him here today. And the things we do believe only hold deep. In the water, in the boat, in the hole above the coast, in the child on the hill.
We will be starting in just less than a minute.
I kiss something close. I kiss something near. I kiss something warm. It's not my own. I kiss something close. I kiss something near. I kiss something warm. It's not my own.
A few housekeeping before we start. For those people joining us in our Zoom webinar, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them in our Q&A box or in our chat box. For those people joining us in our Facebook live stream, don't hesitate to ask your questions by typing it in the comment section. I will go ahead and answer them right after the webinar. All right, it's time. Again, my name is Israel Roman, and welcome to our free webinar, free live stream on Facebook. Everything about the new caregiver immigration pathway to Canada. So I am a licensed Canadian immigration consultant and at the same time a registered nurse here in Canada. So I'm doing both at the same time. And our main office is here in Canada, Nanaimo, BC, and we have a branch in the Philippines, President JP Laurel Highway, Lipa City, Batangas. Questions I get on this one is I'm not in Canada and I'm way too far from Batangas. Would this still be possible for me to take this opportunity, take this program? Yes, we can do everything online. We can do Skype. We can communicate via email, Skype, WhatsApp, Viber. So we will be using the technology that we have right now in order to provide service for you guys. So, home child care provider pilot and the home support worker pilot. So, when we say the home child care, this would be the nannies, people looking after kids, and home support worker would be the caregiver looking after disabil- uh, adult with disability or elderly clients. So, this pilot was introduced last year, June of 2019. And what's new about this program and what's good about it? I think most part it is it is a very good program. One is as a caregiver, if you want to come here to Canada as a caregiver, you will be applying for two different applications. One would be the open work permit, and the open work permit would be occupation restricted but not employer restricted. Meaning to say, in your actual work permit, it won't say who you're working for. It would only say that your occupation for coming here would be either as a childcare provider or support worker. Okay. So, what is the advantage of this one? In case you have to change employer because things are not working out well, you are able to change employer without applying for a new work permit. So there won't be any lag time, there won't be any gap between employer. Okay, so that is good because you need to complete 2 years of full-time employment. So with this one, you won't be there will be a greater chance for you to really finish your 2 years without any gap. Okay, and this program doesn't need LMIA or the Labor Market Impact Assessment. This is basically employers asking permission to the government, from the government, that they are going to hire foreign caregivers like you. So this program eliminated this one, eliminated the LMIA, which is directly good news for the employers because now this eliminated one big step in the application to hire a foreign worker. It also eliminated the expense that they have to spend. Indirectly, this is great news for you guys because that means there are now there are more employers that are now willing to hire foreign workers because they don't need to undergo the LMIA process or they don't need to submit any LMIA application. So this is great news for both the employer and you guys, the caregivers, nannies. The second application that you'll be submitting would be your permanent residence application. Yes, you'll be submitting both open work permit and permanent residence application. And in essence, once you're approved, in essence, you are a permanent resident because they have already done all of their background check on you to grant you permanent residency. The only thing that you need to complete is your 2 years of full time work as a caregiver or as a nanny. So, the question I'll get on this one, or the question I usually get is, Sir, am I able to apply for the work permit and not the permanent residency application? I'll take care of that one later on. I will submit my application for my PR later on after I have completed my 2 years of full time work. The answer to that one is a no. You will have to submit both application at the same time. And both application needs to be approved before you can come here. So once again, when you apply as a caregiver to come here, you will have to apply for both application. These are two different applications, both at the same time. Okay. Now, what are the requirements then? Okay, so this is great news. I will be getting an open work permit. I don't need to reapply for a work permit if I need to change employer, and it's a permanent residency application right away. So that's great news. So what are the requirements then? First of all, is you need to have a genuine or valid job offer. Okay, so this one would be coming from an employer that would be providing full-time work for you, which is at least 30 hours per week. Okay, and it is a valid job offer or genuine because it has to be, let's say the employer is hiring you as a nanny, then we need the employer needs to show that there are children or child that needs to be looked after by you. If the employer is providing you caregiver work, then the employer needs to show who is the elderly person or person with disability that needs to be looked after by you. Okay, so genuine and valid job offer. Next is able to do the job. Okay, so with this one, immigration will take a look at your credentials. Do you have the course, training, or experience, or something equivalent in order for you to do the job? Okay, in order for you to convince that you're able to do the job as a nanny or as a caregiver. So when we say recent, what our office accepts is only within the last 5 years. And when we say caregiver, when we say training or equivalent, training could be training on caregiver or training on to be a nanny or training as an RN as well. Equivalent would be something like you you don't have caregiver course, but you do have a nursing course. So that is something equivalent. And when we say recent, again, it has to be within that 5 years. So an example would be you had your caregiver course 10 years ago, but just a year ago you just completed a caregiver job, then that is fine. That would be a check mark for able to do the job. Okay. But if you finished nursing probably 8 years ago, and since then you haven't done anything that involves caregiving job, then unfortunately that won't be considered as recent because it's been a while. It's been more than 5 years. Okay. Now meet the language level. Now this one, since your application is for permanent residency as well, this is the criteria for that one, for the PR. Meet the language level. And you only need CLB 5 for this one. Okay, so when you take IELTS, that would be a score of 4.0 in reading and 5.0 for the rest of the module. So that would be listening, writing, and speaking. You'll need 5.0, which is, I'm, I think this is very attainable because CLB 5 is the lowest score that Canada accepts, right? So school, immigration, this is the lowest one. And it's basically making sure that you're able to communicate in English for your safety reasons. So let's say calling 911, you'll be able to communicate to the operator, right? But if you are struggling with in getting CLB 5, even though you can speak, read, listen, and write in English, but for some reason, as soon as you step into that IELTS exam room, for some reason, everything goes down the drain. Okay, so we have a plan for that one for you, in order for us to be able to help you get the score that you need and even higher. Okay. Next is you need to meet the education requirement, which is also part of the permanent residency application. So with this one, it has to be 1 year of post-secondary course or 1 year college course. I'll give you an example though on this one that may not work for you. Hopefully, this is not your case. So, sorry, if you're from the Philippines and you didn't graduate from a K1 to 12 curriculum yet, or yeah, at that time, and you had a 2 year associate degree, what will happen is your first year associate, your first year college is now converted to grade 11. Your second year college is now converted to grade 12. So With that one, you will still be missing 1 year of post-secondary course. Even though you already had 2 years of associate degree, it is still not enough. So if you are not part of the K1 to 12 program, it is safe to say that it would be safer for you if you have at least 3 years worth of college. Okay. Again, 3 years. And you are admissible to Canada, meaning to say you don't have any misrepresentation or any criminal offense for that matter as well. And also relatively in good health. If you have high blood pressure, that's okay as long as you're on medication. Don't worry about that one. Okay. NC2 caregiver with experience, as long as that one's recent, that is good. That is for Irene. So, since you are applying for both open work permit and permanent residency application, and this is another great news about this one, you will be including your spouse in your initial application. If you have a spouse, you'll be including him or her in your application. And if you have any dependents, they are included as well. So once you get approval to come to Canada, they will also come with you. Okay. You won't be leaving them behind. So for your spouse will also get an open work permit, but it's a better open work permit than yours because for your spouse, it is really open. It is not restricted to any occupation or employer. That means your spouse can work basically anywhere that's qualified for. Okay, in terms of skills and education. If yeah, dependent child, so they'll have a study permit and they can take advantage of the free education up to grade 12. Again, this is great news because again you won't be leaving your spouse and your children back home while you're working as a caregiver, and while they're here your spouse is able to help when it comes to finances, family's finances, because your spouse can work and your, your children can also take advantage of a free school, which is that is great news for everyone, right? Yes, I've seen the questions. I will go ahead and answer them later on. Okay. Okay. So employer. This is the popular question. Employers. Will I get employer? How will I get an employer? And all of those things. How do I get a valid job offer? Okay, so I just want to make sure that it's clear for everyone. Even though we have a branch in the Philippines, we are not licensed with POEA because we are not a recruitment agency. We are a Canadian immigration consultancy firm. And as a consultancy firm, you don't need to be licensed with POEA. Okay. And again, that's why we're not licensed with POEA. We are not accredited by POEA because we don't have to, because we are not a recruitment agency in the Philippines. So when it comes to the employer, this is the responsibility of the applicant. Yes, it might sound bad news, but we will be helping you to land an employer. Okay, and I will show you later on how are we able to do that, knowing that we are here in Canada. how are we able to help you get an employer or land an employer? Okay, so your relative can be a sponsor, can be your employer, and hire you as a nanny or caregiver. So your relative who has who have children definitely can hire you as a nanny, and your relative that has elderly individual at home, like their parents, they can hire you as their caregiver. Okay. So what are the advantages in joining Roman and Associates? Okay. The very first advantage is the immigration consultant's fee, which is 50% off. So it is a very common practice that when an immigration consultant is involved in your application, there is a fee. Okay. So for us, for this one, that fee is waived. Not really waived, sorry. That one is cut 50% off. Okay. So that is great news. And for this one, our consultant's fee can be negotiated with the employer so that it is the employer who shoulders the fee. Okay. And with the 50% off, this would be it would be easier to negotiate with the employer because we can say, hey, it's 50% off unlike before, right? And it is also a common practice that if you have a spouse or children to be attached to your application, there will be additional consultants fee. But for this one, we are not we are waiving completely waiving that fee. So if you have a spouse and you have a child, there won't be additional consultancy fee for that one. Even if you have 10 children, we won't be charging any fee for those children as a consultant's as an immigration consultant's fee. Okay? Now, we will be providing free unlimited IELTS review. Okay, so for those people, applicants who are struggling, who have challenges in getting the score that you need for your IELTS, we are providing free unlimited IELTS review. This would help you boost your confidence and get the score that you need. Okay, you might even get a perfect score when you take this free unlimited IELTS review. And again, it's unlimited and it's for free. Okay. And we will also put in there free IELTS exam. So we'll take care of your IELTS exam. Once you are done with your review and you feel comfortable and the assessor, the instructor assesses your ability, your language ability, and says that you're good to go, then yeah, then we can go ahead and register you for your IELTS exam. And the biggest advantage would be we will represent you to our Canadian employers. We are here in Canada. We are able to talk to the employers directly in your on your behalf. Okay, so that's one of the advantage of us being here in Canada as your consultant. We will be able to talk directly to your employer, to your potential employer. And also, we will do this by posting your profile in our website. And our website is made made to target Canadian employers. Okay. Our social media posting, which we constantly do advertise targeting again Canadian employers. And networking. And when you say networking, it is because an example of us being able to network. If you can recall the first few slides, I did say I am a registered nurse. So, as a nurse, I'm able to directly talk to patients, to families of the patient that are needing caregivers. So it's a word of mouth. They come to me, they ask me, hey, my my wife is getting discharged in a week, but I would need someone to be with us because I won't be able to look after my wife. I am also I'm not in terms of functionality, I'm not 100%. So I need help for my wife. I need someone that can help my wife with feeding, bathing, dressing up. All right. So we have we have a strong networking on this one. Or I might hear, hey, from a colleague, that, hey, I heard that there is a patient on the other unit looking for a caregiver, and here's the number of that patient needing a caregiver. All right. So that's how networking works for us here in Canada. Okay. So I guess that is a great news because I don't think if you're already working with an agent right now, with an agency right now, I don't think your agency has a has someone inside working inside the hospital. Okay. So that is one of your biggest advantage for sure. Credentials. So as a person that provides advice on immigration, whether it's for free or not, as long as they are not your family member, they need to be licensed with ICCRC. Okay. And in order to be licensed with ICCRC, immigration consultant, they need to take the course, the immigration policy course, and then take the board exam for this one and stay active with the regulatory council. Okay. So if you're already working with an agent, you can check if that agent is legally able to provide you with advice. So we go to ICCRC. Okay. And if you scroll down on the right hand side, there'll be a section where it says complaints and discipline. If you have any concerns with the agent that you're working with, the consultant you're working with, you can always log a complaint here, and ICCRC will deal with that person, okay, and help you out. But if that person is not licensed with ICCRC, unfortunately, you won't be able to log in complaint because they won't ICCRC won't be able to do anything for that, anything with that person. Okay. On the left hand side, you'll see public register finding an immigration professional. So we click learn more on this one and then scroll down. And then on the last name, type in, let's give an example for myself, Roman, and first name is Israel. Hit search, and you should see the consultant's name. So for this one, my name, Roman Israel, status is active, and that's my license number. And when we hit contact, it will show you where the immigration consultant is working out of from or registered. Where is that person registered? So for me, it is Nanaimo, BC, Canada, and the company I work for is Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. Okay. So that's one way of making sure that you're working with the right person. Now, also, if that person tells you that this is the business company that they work for, you can always, just to play safe, just make sure you are able to check that business. That is that business, does that business really exist, right? So since the company I work for, Roman and Associates, is here in Canada, you can, for any company, you can check with the Canada Business Registry. If the company is outside of Canada, I'm pretty sure that country would have a way on how to determine if that business is a legitimate business. So click on, let's go to Canada's business registries, and let's go type in the company name, which is Roman and Associates. Hit search, and it would show you the company name, Roman Associates Immigration Services Limited, and it is an active BC company. So now you're certain that Israel is licensed with ICCRC, and the company that he works for is also a business that do exist. Going back to finding an employer, okay, because this is very important. I did say that I work, I am a registered nurse working in a hospital here in BC. So let's go check on that one if it's really accurate. So we can go to Google, which you can also do this one for the agent that you're working with. Okay, do a search, see if there's any red flag for that person. So in any web browser, hold on, let's go to Google, any search engines, just type in the name of the person you are trying to see if there's any red flag. So for this one, let's go type in Israel Roman Nanaimo. And what do we see? Okay, on the right hand side, it is Roman Associates Immigration Services Limited, because that's a company that I work for. And this one is says address is Nanaimo, BC. And right now the hours is closed. And the reason for it is because it is only 5:35 a.m. here in Nanaimo, BC. Now on the left hand side, try to your task is to really just see if there's anything that stands out as a red flag for you that would give you second thoughts of continuing on working with that person. Okay. So I don't see, I'm pretty sure you're not seeing any red flags on Israel Roman. So that's good, right? Now you can also check on the picture and really see who is Israel Roman, really. Okay. So let me turn on my camera. Perfect. Okay. So now this picture right here that I'm showing, it is from the Nanaimo News Bulletin, and it says the Nanaimo Hospital Auxiliary donation tops 300,000. And now you can compare the picture and the person that's talking in the video in the camera. Are they the same? Okay. Let's go check another picture. Maybe this one right here. All right. So this one again is from, not again, but it is from a BC local news. The Nanaimo Hospital gets 340,000 BC local news. And again, compare this person right here, this face right here, to the camera, to the video that you're seeing. See if they're the same, which I could say it is. Next picture, another one. Maybe this is the last one. This is again from the Nanaimo Hospital Foundation. So that's myself right there, touring a one of a guest, one of our guests in our hospital. So there you go. Let's go search. Is there any other pictures? I think that's it. What's this one? Okay. Yes, that's it. Alrighty. Now let's close this one. Okay, so you've seen in the website in the search engine that I am truly here in Canada. So that's great news again. Now the other one, the other company that would help you find an employer would be our Home is Best Caregiver Services Limited. This company right here is our recruitment agency based here in Canada. This is not, we don't have this one in the Philippines, only here in Canada. So that means we don't need to be licensed again with POEA, even though we have a company, a recruitment company, because this recruitment company is only licensed here in Canada. Okay, so let's click on the website. So this business right here, this company right here, provides services to Canadian employers. We're in Canadian employers knocks on our door and asks for, hey, I need a caregiver for my parents. Do you have someone? Okay. Or question would be, hey, I need to go back to work. I just gave birth a year ago and now I need someone to look after my newborn. Okay. So with that one, then we go to our pool of caregivers and based on the criteria or based on what they're looking for, we go to our pool of caregivers and present them with resumes. Yes, so the resumes that we provide our employers comes from our pool of caregivers. Okay, which you'll learn later on how you'll get into our pool of caregivers. Okay, and the other business that we have that would help you land an employer would be our nannies on the block. So this one right here are this website right here is a site that connects families and job seekers or caregivers. Okay, so there you go. So those are our advantages for sure. Okay, so is it really worth coming to Canada and be a nanny or caregiver in terms of the wage, right? There's a lot of there's a lot of other reasons for why come to Canada, right? There's the free education, free medical health service. So yeah, so but in terms of the wage, let's see. For a caregiver, the median wage for in Canada is $16.50, and for a nanny, it is $14.11. That is the median wage. Okay. So let's go do a wage sample computation. So let's say you're earning 14.11 per hour, 40 hours a week, that would give you $564 in a week. In a month, that would give you 2,256. And in a year, that would give you $27,000. Okay. So the question that you might have, okay, $27,000, is that really a lot? It looks small, right? It's only 5 digits. So if we convert this one to Philippine peso, this would give you almost 1 million pesos per year. Okay. Working as a nanny on a median wage of 14.11, it will potentially give you close to 1 million pesos. So now the question that I have for you is that if you work as a nanny in the country you're living in, so let's say Philippines, would you ever get 1 million pesos in a year working as a nanny? Okay, that's a question I have for you because here you will be able to, and this is only the median wage. If you'll be working in BC, it would be at least $15, 1 5. Okay, so yes, you will be earning close to 1 million pesos, right? But of course, there are some expenses attached to this one. You can't just be earning 1 million right away. There are some expenses attached to it, and I see those expenses as investment because you need to shed money in order to earn money. So it's an investment. You invest your money so that it grows and it will come back to you. All right. So it's the same thing as this one. There is an expense, but you'll be earning it. You'll be getting it back. You'll have a return of investment. So that's why the expense for this one, I look at it as investment. You'll have you'll be investing and you'll see your return of investment. And I think this one is better than being let's say, going into an online business wherein you buy products one, two, and three. Before I continue on, no offense to those to those people who does online business. That is a very decent job, decent business. I'm just comparing it when it comes to the return of investment. Okay, and this is just my opinion. So yeah, so I think this is better than investing in, let's say, you buy products package one, two, and three. The higher the package, the more expensive. There's more products. Now you what next one? The next thing you need to do is now find people that would buy your products, right? People that would need and want your products, and not just a one-time thing, but an ongoing basis, right? And how much profit are you getting each bottle, on each item? I'm not sure, but I don't think you'll be getting 1 million pesos in a year for that one, right? So, investment. Okay, so once we have determined that you are the right person, you met the minimum requirement, and you are the right person in our pool, then we go to the next step, which is the registration process. So for this one, the administration fee is due. It would be 48,000 pesos or 1,400 Canadian dollars. Then once you have settled the admin fee, we coordinate with you with regards to your unlimited IELTS review and then your IELTS exam later on. Okay? Once you are ready to apply for open work permit and permanent residency application, then this would be the fee for that one. And this is paid to the immigration office, okay, or the IRCC. Then on the once you're here and you have completed your 2 years, we submit further documents to IRCC to prove that you have met the last criteria, which is 2 years of full-time work. Then this is due at that time. Okay. So estimated total investment only for the principal applicant in pesos, that would be 110,000. But you'll be potentially earning close to 1 million pesos. Okay. So in less than 1 month, you'll be able to get your return. You'll be able to get your investment back. Okay. And again, that is only for yourself as a principal applicant. If you have any additional family members, there won't be any additional administration fee. But of course, when it comes to the actual application, your spouse and dependent will still have a fee to pay. Okay? But of course, your family member, your spouse, will also can also be working and potentially earning almost the same as you or even higher. Okay? So, high level overview, what are the steps? Timeline. First is the eligibility check. Okay, so we need to make sure that you meet the minimum requirement for this program, and that we would be willing to take you in our pool of caregivers. Okay, at this stage, you won't be paying anything. There's no fee for this one. We just have to make sure that we are not wasting your time and we are not wasting your money. Okay. Once we have done this step, we go to the next one, which is the registration, the start of your application. So it would be at this time when the admin fee is due. Then ECA, or Evaluation Credential Assessment. This is the one that determines that you have the education requirement. Next is we prepare your documents, so your open work permit application, your permanent residency application, if you have a spouse and children, also for their application. Then we submit to IRCC, or the Immigration Office. Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship of Canada. Then fly to Canada. Again, if you have a spouse or children, your spouse and children will be flying with you. All right. You won't be flying by yourself and wait for another 2 or 3 years before you can see your spouse or children. Those days are gone. Okay. Okay. So next steps. And only if you're interested in this program, caregiver program, and would like to avail our promo. Okay. Submit your resume to assessment@romancanadianimmigration.ca. And on the title, on the subject line, please type in Caregiver Pathway Webinar October 16, 2020. And the reason for this is we would like to triage the emails that we get and make sure that your email doesn't get buried with our thousands of email. And we also want to make sure that we take note that you are part of this webinar and that you're wanting to take advantage of the perks or the promo that we have at the moment. Okay, and once we have done our assessment and we assess that you meet the requirement and you're one of the candidates that we would like to be added in our pool, then we will let you know that you are eligible and we can go ahead and proceed to the next step. Again, it is only on the second step, registration, where you pay the administration fee. For the initial step, the eligibility step, no fees required on that one. Okay? So that's it for me. I would like to say thank you to everyone who have joined us in this free webinar and Facebook live stream. If you're just finishing watching this recording, thank you as well. I'm hoping that everyone learned a lot from this webinar, and I'm hoping that this is the pathway for you, and I'm hoping that you'll take advantage because this is only good for 5 years, and we've first year is all done, so we're down to our last less than 4 years, and we don't know what will happen later on after 5 years. The IRCC will have to assess again how the program went and make some changes, and we don't know what those changes are. But in the meantime, If you think that this is a great program for you, which I think it is, go take advantage and start your application. I'll still be here waiting for your questions, and, uh, and then I'll answer them in after a minute. All right. Okay, time to answer questions. First one that I have is my last full-time nursing experience was 2018. Then by 2019 to 2020, I am reliever part-time nurse. In this 2020, I am doing home-based job. Would that count? Definitely, definitely, that would count in terms of checking the checking the box on able to do the job. Yes. How about for single and she or he has nephew or niece? Is it possible for them to be a dependent? Sorry, no, that won't count. But once you're here though as a single person and you've been here, you are a permanent resident, you'll be able to you'll be able to sponsor someone, right? Because you're living alone here in Canada. But that's later on down the road. I live in UAE. I need to take IELTS here. We'll pay for it as well. Will you? Yes, Joel Barreto. Yes, we will take care of that one as well. Don't worry about that one. Joel, if you can just submit your resume to our email assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca, that would be very helpful. That's great. Yeah, even though you're not in the Philippines, we will be able to provide service for you. So that is both the unlimited IELTS review and the IELTS exam. Any vacant for sterile processing technician, any hospital in Canada? I'm not sure about in any Canada, but it's going to be hard to hire foreign workers for a sterile processing technician. So, yes. Good morning. I am from Colombia, South America. My question is it possible to get a job as a nanny from my home country? Or it only works from people in Asia? No, no. You are, yeah, anywhere in the world, you are, everyone is equal, would have equal opportunity to get an employer, right? It doesn't mean that because the applicant is from Asia, they'll have a better advantage over you. No, uh, there's no such thing. Is Canada open now to accept foreign workers, especially from the Philippines? If we're selecting an employer, or we will? Yes, Canada is open for essential workers. Definitely, yes. How much is the show money? There won't be any show money because you'll have work to. You'll be coming to Canada with a work permit with a with an employer already. So show money is not needed. I'm a registered nurse, but I really do not have any experience in the hospital. No travel to any country yet. So am I still qualified? It depends on when you took your nursing. If you took your nursing, you graduated within the last 5 years, then that is totally fine. I'm a registered nurse, been working as a private nurse for home care since 2013 up to March 2020, graduate of 2007. That is totally fine. That is great. You, Sherry Ann, when it comes to able to do the job, that's a check mark for you. Is Canada open now except foreign workers, specifically in the Philippines? Yes, Quebeco. Yes, we are open. Open for essential services, open for study permit holders. So yeah.